The accusations just dropped on national television and they're absolutely brutal. Kody Brown stood in front of cameras and accused his daughter Mykelti of disloyalty, trash talk, and eroding family trust. Meanwhile, Robyn sat there in complete silence. Not a single word of defense, not one attempt to correct him or soften the blow, just pure, calculated quiet, while Kody drove the bus straight over, the only daughter who actually fought to keep this family together. Let's be crystal clear about what just happened. This isn't about a normal parent-child disagreement. This is about a father publicly shaming his daughter for the crime of having feelings about her brother's death. This is about a stepmother who spent years using that same daughter as her character witness, then abandoned her the second she stopped performing the role of loyal prop. The episode revealed something far more disturbing than family drama. It exposed a loyalty test disguised as love. Kody literally said the relationships with his adult children are strained because of trash talk and innuendo that has challenged loyalties and trust. Read that again? Loyalties, not love, not connection, not healing, loyalties. As if family operates like a medieval court where you swear fealty to the king or get banished. And Robyn's silence? That speaks louder than any tears she shed over selling empty land. She had plenty to say when crying about Coyote Pass, that raw property sitting untouched for 5 years. She wept over dirt, but when Kody tears into Mykelti, accusing her of betrayal for simply expressing pain after losing her brother Garrison, Robyn offers nothing. No defense, no compassion, no humanity. Here's what makes this particularly cruel. Mykelti was the bridge. She defended Robyn to her siblings for years. She praised Robyn's parenting publicly. She included Robyn in intimate family moments like the births of her babies. She put herself in the middle of every conflict, trying desperately to hold together a family that was already splitting at the seams. And her reward? Being accused of disloyalty on camera while her stepmother watches silently. This episode also revealed Robyn's consistent pattern of linguistically separating herself from Kody's other children. She repeatedly referred to them as your kids instead of our kids. After 10 years of legal marriage, she still views these children as outsiders. They're his responsibility, his problem, his family, not hers, never hers. What we witnessed wasn't just family drama, it was the moment Mykelti learned what so many of Kody's other children already knew. Love in the Brown family comes with conditions, and the primary condition is simple: protect our image, stay obedient, or get cast out. Sometimes the most revealing truths hide in the smallest words. Throughout this episode, Robyn repeatedly used 2 little words that exposed exactly how she views Kody's other children. Not our kids, not the kids, your kids. As in, these children belong to you, Kody, not me. As in, after a decade of legal marriage, I still see them as separate. As in, I've never actually claimed them as my own. Listen to how it played out. When discussing potential space in a new house, Robyn said she wanted room for our kids to feel safe, then immediately pivoted to space for your kids to be able to be honest with you. The distinction wasn't accidental, it was automatic, instinctive, the verbal equivalent of drawing a line down the middle of a family photograph. Later, when talking about truly possibly visiting, the separation appeared again. Our kids could come home and feel safe. Your kids needed their own space. Every single time the conversation shifted to Kody's children from other marriages, Robyn's pronouns shifted too. The linguistic distancing was consistent, deliberate, and absolutely damning. Here's what makes this so significant. Robyn has been Kody's legal wife for 10 years. She's the only one with that legal protection. She's the one who got the official marriage when Kody divorced Mary. She has every legal and social standing to claim these children as part of her family. But she doesn't. Not in her language, not in her heart, not in any meaningful way. This isn't new behavior either. This is a woman who spent years holding grudges against children for being children. Hunter didn't immediately accept that Solomon was born, so he became a problem child in her narrative. Gabriel and Garrison questioned COVID rules, so they became disloyal alcoholics in her stories. Mykelti defended her for years, so she became useful, until she wasn't, until Garrison's death changed everything, and Mykelti started expressing hurt and frustration. The language reveals the hierarchy. There are Robyn's biological children, who get called our kids and receive unlimited grace and protection. Then there are your kids, Kody's other children, who exist outside the sacred circle. They're tolerated when obedient, discarded when they develop opinions, and never truly claimed as family. Every woman who's ever dealt with a blended family knows this dynamic. Some step-parents fight to include everyone under one umbrella. They work to build bridges. They choose language that unifies rather than separates. They say our family even when it's hard, even when relationships are strained, because that's what commitment looks like. Robyn does the opposite. She uses language that others, that excludes, that maintains clear boundaries between her children and his children, and she does it so consistently that it's clearly not a slip of the tongue. It's a window into how she actually views this family structure. She's the legal wife playing at polygamy while linguistically divorcing herself from the very children that plural marriage supposedly unites. Picture a young woman spending years of her life trying to hold together a family that's actively tearing itself apart. That was Mykelti. While her siblings pulled away, while tensions escalated, while the cracks in the Brown family foundation widened into canyons, she stayed in the middle. She defended. She mediated. She vouched. She showed up. Mykelti was Robyn's biggest public defender among all of Kody's older children. She visited Robyn's house regularly when other siblings stopped coming around. She praised Robyn's parenting openly, while others questioned it privately. She included Robyn in intimate family moments like the births of her babies, giving Robyn access to grandmotherhood that felt genuine and close. She built a bridge between the splintering sides of this family, and she maintained it even when it cost her. Here's what people forget. Mykelti was only 12 or 13 when Robyn entered this family. That's a vulnerable age. That's when you're desperate for acceptance, for validation, for someone to see you. Robyn saw that vulnerability and used it. She cultivated a relationship with a child who wanted so badly to be a good daughter, a good sister, a good peacemaker. And Mykelti performed that role beautifully for years. She was the one who could say good things about Robyn when the internet turned critical. She was the one who could sit in both camps during family conflicts without getting immediately exiled. She was proof that Robyn wasn't the villain everyone claimed she was. Look, one of the older kids likes her, one of them defends her, one of them maintains a relationship. Mykelti was the evidence that Robyn's narrative about wanting family unity was true. Except it wasn't true, it was conditional. Mykelti's value lasted exactly as long as she stayed useful to the narrative. The moment she started expressing her own hurt, her own frustration, her own grief after Garrison's death, the protection evaporated. The relationship shifted. The warmth disappeared. Mykelti even took Kody and Robyn's side sometimes when conflicts erupted with her siblings. She defended their decisions. She tried to explain their perspective. She put herself in the uncomfortable position of standing between people she loved, trying desperately to translate pain in both directions and create understanding. That's exhausting work. That's the kind of emotional labor that leaves you drained and questioning whether anyone actually appreciates what you're sacrificing. And here's the cruelest part. Mykelti did all of this knowing what happened to siblings who spoke up. She watched Hunter get labeled a problem. She watched Gabriel and Garrison get called disloyal. She saw the pattern. She knew that challenging Kody and Robyn meant risking exile, so she stayed quiet about her own concerns. She swallowed her own doubts. She performed loyalty even when it hurt, because she believed that if she just kept being the bridge, kept showing up, kept defending, eventually the family would heal. Eventually, everyone would come together. Eventually, the effort would matter. She was wrong. The bridge builder just got thrown under the bus. Let's talk about what makes Robyn cry versus what gets her complete silence, because the contrast reveals everything about her priorities. Robyn wept on camera about selling Coyote Pass. She sobbed over raw land that sat empty for 5 years, land where they built nothing. No infrastructure, no homes, no actual family gathering place, just dirt and sagebrush and broken promises. She cried about losing the symbol of their family unity, mourning a fantasy that never materialized while the real family around her disintegrated. She called that empty property the symbol of their family. She said it over and over, like repetition would make it true. Meanwhile, an actual family member, Mykelti, was packing up and leaving, moving away because the emotional toll of watching this family implode had become unbearable. And Robyn had absolutely nothing to say about that. Zero soundbites about Mykelti leaving, zero interview segments about her thoughts on the move, zero commentary about losing the daughter who defended her for years. The producers didn't even show Robyn being asked about it, if they bothered asking at all. Complete silence, total absence, as if Mykelti's departure didn't warrant even a moment of acknowledgement, let alone tears. Think about what that means. Robyn could summon tears for selling vacant land, but not for losing an actual relationship with a daughter who stood by her through years of family chaos. She could cry about money walking out the door, but not about Mykelti walking out of their lives. The property mattered, the person didn't. Christine was the one who explained why Mykelti was leaving. She said Mykelti wanted to get away from the drama, that she was exhausted from trying so hard to get everybody back together again. Mykelti herself said her relationship with Robyn changed after Garrison's death. She noticed Robyn's reactions were inconsistent, that her behavior wasn't how someone should act following a tragedy. Something that should have brought people together instead drove them further apart. And still, Robyn said nothing. No defense, no explanation, no attempt to clarify what happened or express regret about the changed relationship, just silence while another child slipped away. But watch her come alive when discussing that land sale. Watch her eyes fill with tears as she talks about needing to move on, about everyone else forcing her to let go of the dream. She's crying about real estate while actual human relationships crumble around her, and she doesn't seem to notice the irony. Every woman who's ever managed a household budget while someone else made reckless financial decisions understands this kind of misplaced priority. Every woman who's watched someone cry over material loss while ignoring emotional devastation recognizes this pattern. It's valuing the performance over the reality. It's mourning the Instagram version of family while letting the actual family fall apart. Robyn wasn't crying about family unity. She was crying about losing her stage set. Mykelti wasn't a family member. She was an audience member who stopped clapping. An empty land apparently matters more than full hearts. Garrison's death changed everything. For Mykelti, it was a seismic shift that rearranged how she saw her family, her father, and the woman who'd positioned herself as another mother figure. Because grief has a way of stripping away pretense, it reveals who shows up with genuine compassion and who performs sympathy like a scripted scene. Mykelti said her relationship with Robyn changed after Garrison died, not because of some petty disagreement, not because of typical family tension, but because Robyn's reactions were inconsistent. Her behavior wasn't how someone acts following a tragedy. Something about the way Robyn responded to a young man's death felt off to Mykelti. Wrong. Performative in ways that made the grief harder instead of easier. Here's what that likely means. When real tragedy strikes, people either rise to meet it with authentic humanity or they reveal their limitations. Some people know how to sit with pain. They know how to hold space for grief without making it about themselves. They know how to show up consistently, quietly, with the kind of steady presence that helps families navigate unthinkable loss. Others don't. Others make the tragedy about their own feelings, their own narrative, their own need for attention or control. They cry at the wrong moments. They're silent when words are desperately needed. They center themselves when someone else should be centered, and the people around them feel it. They feel the disconnect between what grief should look like and what they're witnessing. Mykelti felt that disconnect. She watched how Robyn responded to her brother's death, and something didn't sit right. Maybe it was Robyn's focus on how the tragedy affected her and Kody rather than on the children who'd lost a sibling. Maybe it was a lack of reaching out to check on Mykelti herself. Maybe it was continuing to cry about selling land while barely acknowledging the profound loss the family had just experienced. Whatever it was, it changed Mykelti's entire perspective, because losing a sibling forces you to reevaluate everything. Who actually matters? What actually deserves your energy? Which relationships are built on genuine love, and which ones are built on performance and obligation? Garrison's death gave Mykelti clarity about where she stood in Robyn's priorities, and the answer hurt. This is a woman who just lost her brother, a young man who'd been cast out by their father, bullied and scapegoated, caught in the crossfire of adult dysfunction that he didn't create. Mykelti was processing unimaginable grief while also watching the family dynamics that contributed to Garrison's isolation. That's a specific kind of pain that demands space and grace and understanding. Instead, she got judgment. She got silence when she needed support. She got inconsistent reactions that made her question the authenticity of someone she'd defended for years. And when she started expressing that hurt and frustration, when she stopped performing the role of loyal peacemaker because grief stripped away her ability to pretend everything was fine, she got accused of disloyalty. Robyn couldn't muster compassion for Mykelti's grief. She could only notice that Mykelti had stopped protecting her image, and that's unforgivable. Kody made the hierarchy crystal clear when he talked about his strained relationships with his adult children. He said it was about trash talk and innuendo that has challenged loyalties and trust on all sides, not love, not connection, not healing after loss. Loyalties, as if family operates on a feudal system where children owe allegiance to their lord rather than receiving unconditional love from their father. That word choice reveals everything. In Kody's world, family isn't a bond, it's a hierarchy. You're either loyal to the narrative he and Robyn construct, or you're the enemy. You either protect their image and stay obedient, or you get cast out. There's no middle ground. No room for honest conversations about hurt. No space for children to process their own feelings without being accused of betrayal. Mykelti confirmed this exact dynamic in a recent Patreon video. She said the only way to have a relationship with Kody is if you're obedient and submissive. If you don't kiss his butt and tell him what he wants to hear, there's nothing. You can't talk to him about anything real. He doesn't want to hear it. You have to kiss his ass and be obedient, or you're cast out. Read that again. This is his daughter describing what it takes to maintain a relationship with her own father. Total submission, complete agreement, absolute loyalty to his version of reality, regardless of your own experience or pain. That's not love. That's control. That's narcissism, dressed up as family values. And it explains exactly why Mykelti stayed silent for so long. She watched what happened to siblings who spoke up. Hunter became the problem child for not immediately accepting Solomon's birth. Gabriel and Garrison got labeled disloyal alcoholics for questioning COVID rules. The pattern was clear: challenge Kody and Robyn, lose access to your father, express hurt, get accused of causing drama, have feelings that don't align with their narrative, get exiled. So Mykelti performed. She smiled, she defended, she swallowed her doubts and her concerns and her own pain because she believed that if she just stayed loyal enough, worked hard enough at being the bridge, eventually it would matter. Eventually her father would see her effort. Eventually the family would heal and she could stop performing. Garrison's death shattered that illusion. Suddenly, loyalty to a false narrative felt obscene. Protecting their image while her brother was gone felt impossible. Pretending everything was fine when nothing was fine became unbearable. So she started expressing her real feelings, her hurt, her frustration, her grief. And that's when Kody accused her of trash talk and disloyalty. Because in their hierarchy, having authentic feelings is betrayal. Speaking truth is gossip. Processing grief that makes them look bad is eroding trust. Mykelti's mistake wasn't being disloyal. Her mistake was thinking that years of loyalty had earned her the right to be human, to have feelings, to grieve openly without protecting their reputation. She learned what every one of Kody's exiled children learned. Love in the Brown family comes with a price tag, and that price is your voice. Watch Robyn's face when Kody brings up having space for Truly in a potential new house. She rolls her eyes at the mention of creating space for Kody's youngest daughter with Christine. That single gesture reveals more than 1,000 words ever could about how she actually feels about his other children visiting. But let's talk about the timing of this sudden concern for Truly. This conversation about needing space for her happened right before Christine filed paperwork to sue Kody for child support and custody. Literally right before the legal battle began. Suddenly, after years of Truly not visiting, after years of her feeling unwelcome and excluded, Kody's talking about how important it is to have a space for her. How convenient, how calculated, how absolutely transparent. Here's the reality: every single person watching this show understands. Truly doesn't stay away because there's no physical space. The house Kody shares with Robyn has plenty of room. She stayed away the few times she did visit before. Space was never the issue. The issue is how they made her feel when she was there. When Truly visited, Kody spent his time with Solomon and Ariella. He ignored her. He made it abundantly clear through his actions that Robyn's children were the priority, and Truly was an afterthought. She didn't feel like part of their family. She felt like an outsider visiting a home where she didn't belong. That's not about square footage, that's about emotional exclusion. Robyn and Kody created distance through their treatment of her, not through lack of bedrooms. They refused to include her in meaningful ways. They didn't treat her like she was really Kody's daughter, really part of their family unit. They made her feel tolerated rather than cherished. And now they're pretending that a bigger house will somehow fix the emotional abandonment they've inflicted. It's the same delusion they have about all the estranged children. If we have the space, they will come. As if proximity is the problem. As if children are avoiding their father because of floor plans rather than because of how he's treated them. As if adding square footage will somehow repair the damage done by years of conditional love and hierarchical family structures. The performative concern for Truly is particularly cruel because it's timed specifically to look good during a custody battle. It's Kody positioning himself as the caring father who wants his daughter in his life, when the evidence of years shows the opposite. It's creating a narrative for court documents while doing nothing to actually repair the relationship. And Robyn's eye roll? That's her mask slipping. That's the real reaction when she thinks cameras might not catch it. Annoyance that Kody's even bringing up space for your kids, when what she really wants is a bigger house for herself, more space for her things, her business, her comfort. His other children are obstacles to that goal, not family members she's eager to welcome. Truly deserves better than being used as a pawn in legal maneuvering. She deserves a father who actually shows up emotionally, not one who performs concern when lawsuits loom. Let's talk about what Robyn actually wants, not what she says she wants in carefully crafted sound bites, what her actions and words reveal when she drops the performance. She wants bigger, more, grander. She wants a house that matches the lifestyle she believes she deserves, and everything else is just window dressing to justify that desire. Watch how the conversation about a new house unfolds. Kody says they should look for the home that you want. Robyn immediately corrects him, that I want or we want. She needs the appearance of collaboration even as she's clearly driving this decision. Then Kody tries to frame it with that old saying about keeping mama happy, and Robyn performs objection. Oh, daddy has to be happy too. But then the truth spills out. I want my space. I want my business. And then I want kids' space for grandkids and Truly. Notice the order. Her space comes first. Her business comes second. The grandchildren and Truly are afterthoughts, additions at the end of the list. The priority structure is crystal clear, even as she's trying to frame this as being about family. Meanwhile, she's wearing a $3,000 watch. Let that sink in. While claiming the family symbol of Coyote Pass matters so much, she cries over selling it. She's sporting a watch that costs more than many people's monthly mortgage payment. While Kody owes money to his other wives, while he's dodging creditors, while the family finances are allegedly so tight they need to sell that raw land, Robyn's wearing luxury accessories that reveal exactly where the money actually goes. This is a woman who cried about empty land but lights up when discussing a bigger house, who mourns a fantasy while demanding material upgrades, who performs concern about space for estranged children while making it abundantly clear that her comfort is the actual priority. Kody knows exactly what he's doing too. He knows the only way to keep Robyn content is to lavish her with bigger houses and expensive gifts. He's been doing it for years. It's how he maintains peace in the one marriage he's actually invested in preserving. Give Robyn what she wants materially, and she'll stay. It's a transaction dressed up as romance. Every woman who's watched someone prioritize square footage over relationships recognizes this pattern. Every woman who's seen resources flow to one person while others struggle recognizes this dynamic. It's not about creating space for family unity. It's about upgrading a lifestyle while pretending it's for everyone's benefit. The house hunt reveals what the Coyote Pass tears obscured. Robyn doesn't want family unity. She wants a castle. She doesn't want the children to come home. She wants a showcase property that reflects the status she believes she's earned. The kids are just the excuse, the justification, the narrative that makes wanting more seem noble instead of selfish. And Kody will give her exactly what she wants, because keeping Robyn happy has always been his only real priority. This isn't just about Mykelti. This is a pattern that's been repeating itself for years with Kody's children, and Robyn has been the common thread weaving through every single exile. Hunter was first, then Gabriel and Garrison, now Mykelti. Different children, different specific conflicts, but the exact same dynamic every single time. Hunter became a problem child in Robyn's narrative because he didn't immediately embrace Solomon's birth. He struggled with accepting Robyn as a new wife. He had the audacity to tell her, "You're not my mom," which happened to be the complete truth. She wasn't his mom, but that honesty made him a target. Robyn spent years painting Hunter as difficult, as resistant, as someone who wouldn't accept her despite her best efforts. Then came Gabriel and Garrison. During COVID, they questioned the rules. They wanted to see their father. They pushed back against protocols that seemed designed more to control than to protect, and Robyn made sure Kody heard all about it. She positioned herself as the victim of their calls, their texts, their questions. She told Kody they were being disrespectful, that they weren't adhering to guidelines, that they were basically alcoholics causing family problems. Watch the pattern. Every single time one of Kody's children challenges the narrative, resists control, or expresses feelings that don't align with Robyn's version of reality, they become the problem. They get labeled. They get cast as disloyal, disrespectful, unwilling to make amends. And Robyn positions herself as the reasonable one, trying so hard to hold things together while these difficult children make everything impossible. She spent 4 or 5 seasons getting Kody riled up about his sons, making sure he heard about every slight, every challenge, every moment they didn't treat her exactly how she thought they should. She called herself the Brown family scapegoat while actively scapegoating the children. She claimed she didn't make up the rules while ensuring Kody enforced rules that kept his other children at a distance. Here's what responsible parents understand. When children act out, when they struggle with blended family dynamics, when they express anger or resistance, that's usually a symptom of something bigger. It's anxiety about their changing family structure. It's grief over losing the father they once knew. It's watching their dad obviously prefer someone else's children over them and not having the vocabulary or emotional tools to process that pain in healthy ways. Adults are supposed to recognize that. Parents are supposed to see past the behavior to the hurt underneath. Step-parents especially are supposed to help build bridges, not burn them. But Robyn did the opposite. She took normal childhood struggles with blended family integration and turned them into evidence of character defects. She held grudges against children for being children. And Kody, instead of being the parent, instead of protecting his relationships with his children, let Robyn pit him against his own kids. He chose her narrative over their reality. He picked her comfort over their need for a father every single time. Now it's Mykelti's turn to learn what her siblings already knew. Step out of line, and you're next. So here we stand, watching another one of Kody's children join the exile club. Mykelti spent years being the bridge, the defender, the loyal daughter who vouched for Robyn when nobody else would. And her reward was getting publicly accused of disloyalty and trash talk, while Robyn sat in silence, offering not one word of defense for the daughter who defended her for so long. This episode crystallized something that many viewers suspected but couldn't quite prove. Robyn never cared about these children as actual human beings worthy of love and grace. She cared about them as props in her narrative. Mykelti was useful when she praised Robyn's parenting and visited regularly and helped maintain the illusion of family unity. The moment Mykelti started expressing real hurt, real grief, real frustration after her brother's death, she stopped being useful, and props that stop performing get discarded. Kody and Robyn chose their egos over human decency. They chose image protection over genuine relationship. They chose to publicly shame a grieving daughter on national television rather than offer her the compassion and space she needed to process unimaginable loss. That's not family. That's a cult of personality where love is conditional on absolute obedience. The defense Robyn owes Mykelti will never come. There will be no apology, no acknowledgement of how they used her loyalty for years, then threw her away when she developed her own voice. No recognition that accusing a grieving sister of disloyalty while she processes her brother's death is unspeakably cruel. Robyn will continue crying about selling land while actual human relationships crumble because property apparently matters more than people. For anyone watching this who recognizes these patterns in their own life, here's your red flag checklist. If someone demands loyalty over honesty, that's not love. If expressing hurt gets labeled as betrayal, that's manipulation. If you have to perform a specific role to receive affection, that's conditional love. If your value depends on protecting someone else's image rather than living your own truth, you're being used. Real family allows space for grief, for anger, for messy, complicated feelings. Real parents take responsibility for repair instead of blaming children for not being obedient enough. Real stepparents build bridges instead of creating hierarchies where some children matter and others don't. Real love doesn't evaporate the moment you stop performing. Mykelti is learning what her siblings learned before her. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is walk away from people who treat your humanity as optional. Sometimes protecting your peace means accepting that certain people will never give you the love you deserve. Sometimes the family you need isn't the one you were born into. Robyn and Kody can keep their loyalty tests and their hierarchy of conditional affection. Mykelti deserves better. They all do. So what do you think? Will more of Kody's children join the exodus as they realize love shouldn't require total submission? And which moment from this episode revealed the most about Robyn's true priorities? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to tap like, hit subscribe, and keep those notifications on because the Brown family dynamics just keep unraveling. A fresh video is already queued up, and something tells me the next round of family revelations will be even messier than the last.